Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Caspian and I read books, sometimes a lot, sometimes less, depending on how much time I have, like most of us, I would say. So I have two books to talk about today, and I'm gonna start with this one. As you can see, I still have like a bookmark in it, and so this is The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I don't know how you say that in English. Do you say Tolkien? How do you say Tolkien? I don't know. I'm not even gonna try with any kind of English accent on that. So I have for now DNF'd this. I will still probably watch the live about it because I've seen the movie. I think my dad read this to me as a child, but this was the first time I tried to read it myself. So, yeah, I read this for the Middle Earth Along. Is that? I think that's right. So, Middle Earth Along is a book club here on YouTube and also on the app Fable. So yeah, I've tried so much. Okay, well, maybe not so much. I tried for a few days and I got like a third into the book, and then I put it down and I was like, I can't, because it was slowly but surely, well, quite fast actually, and surely putting me in a reading slump. So I decided to pause it before I got there, and I picked up the other book that I'm going to talk about. So then I thought, well, I can read like a chapter at a time, maybe when I feel like it. It's just that I don't feel like it. So I'm soft DNFing this with the hope that I might finish it someday, and the hope of finishing it is only because it's one of my dad's favorites. And it would have been nice to have read it because he loves it so much. But seriously, no. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you why I don't like this. The story I like. I have no problems with the story, okay? It's the writing style. And I even discussed this in the group in the book club on Fable, and I said that I can't really handle the writing style. It's just too much. It feels like there's a description of everything, and of the most meaningless things. And the only times where the writing is sorta okay is when there's action happening. So, like when Bilbo's party met with, or when Bilbo met with, what's his name? The little weird fella with the ring. Why have I forgotten his name? So when he met him, or them, I don't know, him. So that's like one chapter that went kinda okay to me, and I was like, oh, okay, he can write action at least. But since it's supposed to be like cozy fantasy, what I had looked forward to was the coziness between the battles, like the friendships forming, and the character building and the world building, and I was looking forward to that, to just immerse myself in that world and just feel like, have a cup of tea with a book and just feel like I'm immersing myself into the world and just having a cozy time. But the writing style, I want to do like this every time. And this. Just get on with it. And in the book club, in the chat or not the chat, but in the discussion on Fable, when I told people this, I got an answer that said that Tolkien is known for giving every tree a backstory, and that's exactly it, and I am not here for it. So, no thank you. As I said, I hope to finish it sometime in the future, but maybe not. I'm going to try and read the next one and see if I can, if it's better, because there are supposed to be some kind of difference between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings. So for February we're gonna read Lord of the Rings, and I'm gonna give it a try. I'm gonna give it a try. But someone said you had to be like 150 pages in to really feel like you like you are immersed in it in a good way, and like you're, yeah. And I was like, 150 pages. I read English with like 30 pages an hour, maybe more if it's going well. But with this world building, with this writing style, no, it would, let's say 30 pages an hour. It would take me 5 hours to get to 150 pages. I'm contemplating if I want to spend that much time trying. You know, do I really want to? So we'll see. We'll see. I think it also depends on how the chapters are, how the book is like divided into chapters, how long the chapters are, and that sort of thing. So because it's easier to try a book that I'm hesitant about if the chapters are short, so I can be like, read one chapter and feel like I have accomplished something, and doing that like in the morning, and then one in the evening, and then one in the next morning, and one the next evening, and feel like I'm making some kind of progress because of the chapters. If there are longer chapters, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to power through those first 150 pages. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me know in the comments if you also have what is your opinion on the writing style of The Hobbit and of Lord of the Rings. Give me hope, people. Give me hope. Okay, so on to a better note. For sure. This is what I picked up. This was the next one on my TBR. When I decided to soft DNF The Hobbit. So, and I'm so happy it was. This was a 5-star for me. I'm just gonna jump right into it. It was a 5-star for me. So this is The Girl in Red by Christina Henry, and it's sort of a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood, but it kind of isn't, because it's so much more than that. And when I gave it a 5-star on Fable, I actually said in my review, I only said like a few words, and that was Little Red Riding Hood's Revenge. Love it. And that's kind of it. So in this book we follow Red. Her name is really Cordelia, and she lives with her family, Adam and her mom and dad, which I have completely, I think I wrote their names down. Yeah, Frank and Shirley. So Red lives with her family in, I think it's a small town somewhere in the US. And it's set in the current time, from what I can gather. And one thing that struck me in the beginning of the book was that it is written before the pandemic. You know what I'm talking about. But it describes a similar pandemic, so I would not call this fantasy. I don't know really where the border are, you know, between different subcategories and categories or genres, but I would call this dystopian with a hint of sci-fi / fantasy, because there's only a little like a sparkle of it, like a dash of it. So in this world there's a cough going around, and I think about a third of the people have already died when we enter the book. And Red is preparing to evacuate together with her family, and her family doesn't really want to evacuate. They are slowing it down, and they are hesitant about it, and because there are, they are supposed to go to these camps for safety, but Red thinks that it's not for safety, it's to contain people, and if one of them are infected in that camp, then everyone will die, and she doesn't see the point of going to a camp just to die. She wants to live, so she so in this book, when we enter the book, they have no electricity, they have no phones, they have nothing that is like on the grid. So they have had a conversation with her grandmother, because it is the Little Red Riding Hood, with her grandmother, her dad's mother, about coming to her, because she's in this small little cottage, or where it's a great big cabin or cottage in the woods, and she will be waiting for them. So they have kind of decided that they will go, but they are just being so slow about it. Red, she prepared long before, so as soon as she saw the death toll rising and people panicking, and maybe even before that, she ordered everything she needed. So she's equipped to spend 2 weeks in the wilderness with the food that she can carry. So she has this big backpack she ordered with a sleeping bag and a small tent and that sort of thing. So she's ready, and her family isn't ready. They have nothing. So they decide to get into town, and to see if they can obtain or buy. They have so much hope. Some things for the rest of the family, so that they can go together then. So they postpone their travel 3 days later. So in this book we follow Red from the very beginning. We follow Red alone. So she's wandering the woods alone. She is almost out of food. She needs to go somewhere to stock up on food. And we even on like the first or second page, it's written that she's sitting by her fire with her bloody axe. So you can see she's got an axe. And so that's one storyline, and then the other storyline that we are also following is called Before. So when Red is alone, it's called After. So some chapters are called After, and then some chapters are called Before. And in the Before chapters, that's where we find out about the call to her grandmother, and how the kind of pandemic is going, and her mother and father and brother are present. And then along the way we find out how she lost them, what happened, and that sort of thing. And she also meets some other people along the way. So that's kind of the story, how she needs to survive this pandemic or epidemic, this cough. It's a cough, guys. So when I read that, I was like, it's a cough? When is this written? 2019 is when this book came out in Sweden, I think. I was like, so I was really amused by that fact. So there's also like some twists and turns later in the book, and that is where we find out more about the aspect that is kinda sci-fi / it's almost like the X-Files, I would say. So it's a hint of X-Files in this. So it's a kind of a quest. She's going from her parents' home, or they are going from their home, and they are heading towards grandma's house. And Red, so there are some representation in this book. Among other things, the mother is a black woman, the father is a white woman, and there's some racism in this book. In the beginning of the book, there's some racism. And Red is also... she has one fake leg, so she has a prosthetic left leg from the knee down. From the knee down, she has a prosthetic leg, so there's a representation of that kind of disability. And then because there are so few characters in this, they had to like put everything on the same person. There's only one main character, and that is the female main character, which is Red. So she's also a lesbian. No, she's a bisexual. I'm sorry. No erasure on this channel. So she's bisexual because at some point it states that first we just found out that she had girlfriends before, and then somewhere along the line we find out that she's attracted to both genders. So there's some diverse representation there. I think I wish maybe they would have, like Christina Henry would have split that up a bit. Maybe the brother could have been the bisexual one or something like that. Or maybe some other people that she met along the way could also be. But of course it's a big it's a bit of a statement to make the female main character all of these things, and because she's the one that is current all the way through the book. So I understand that choice, but it just felt like kind of much, So both the like she's a target for everything: racism, disability discrimination, and homophobia, and I'm just this poor girl, this poor girl in Red. But I really enjoyed this. I really enjoy Christina Henry's writing. It's sometimes it's a bit stream of conscious, but I think it's in a good way, because I read books with stream of conscious where I'm like, just wrap it up, dude, But in this book, I really feel like it's in a good way. And if you like any of her other books, like Alice or Red Queen, that I've also read before, those are the ones I have to compare to, you will like this one, because it's the same writing style. I think the main difference between this and the Chronicles of Alice, which are essentially Alice and the Red Queen, is that they are more action-packed with different situations, but she's get a clear quest that she's on, and then she has to just navigate all of this that's happening due to this pandemic. So that's kind of why I feel like it's not that fantastical, because that's how they write it in Swedish, fantastical, because there are no such elements. There are no magic. The only thing is that there is a twist with the cough that isn't the cough, and that's due to something else. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like so little that it's more of a dystopian story. Like this could happen. This maybe could have happened, and with the state of the world today, if we had another pandemic, this is not far away from what could be happening in the United States if there was another pandemic. I'm just saying, this is maybe it would be hit too close to home for Americans reading this today and moving forward for the next 4 years. So as I said, I really enjoyed this, loved it, 5-star. I would love to read it again at some point, so this is on my needs because I want them list. So that is what I have to talk about today. Right now I am currently reading Can't Spell Treason Without T, and I will talk about that in my next video update. So thank you so much. I have actually almost finished my January TBR. I think I did with this book. I'm only the only one I have left is my what's it called, my non-fiction for the month. I haven't really touched that as much as I would have liked to, but otherwise I'm almost all the way through my January TBR. So now I'm reading books that I just found at the library that spoke to me, and I have some books that I had on hold as well. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna read for like the last week and a half of January. Some mood reads, which I really need right now. So thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video, and tell me in the comment section about what you think about Tolkien's writing style. I would love to know. So yeah, walk in beauty, and see you next time. Xingling!